tortured. It's From the Front Row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
It usually takes me about 2 cups. Yeah. 2 cups, I'm good. Okay, maybe 3. Today was probably a 4-cup day. Yeah. What's up, WPA? It's me, Johnathan T. Rokford, here with another edition of From the Front Row. And in a night that was bigger controversy than Ashley A. not showing up in purple on Purple Day. It was like totally scandalous the night was. Our first match saw the Wraith taking on Martel the Carpenter and Needles Kane. Match almost went the distance. Hard fought match. None of the competitors wanted to give an inch. But in the end, Needles Kane was able to overcome the odds and pin the Wraith to pick up the victory and move himself up the rankings. Now in our next match we had scheduled the Whiskey Warrior versus the self-proclaimed champion of all champions, Luscious Lucius. And of course it didn't happen. Good thing it was early in the night. I don't know if Whiskey Warrior was drunk, hungover, just plain forgot that he had a match. Who knows? But Luscious Lucius was awarded the win. Now our next match saw Robert Isaiah Salea taking on a Supreme Knight. And folks, it was a good match. Robert Isaiah Salea, you could see he was intending to win this match. He pulled out all the stops and was able to pick up the victory and just totally extinguished that losing streak he's been on lately. It's just been horrible. I mean, gee whiz, man. I'm telling you, you need a more fearful name. Like I said, nobody's scared of anybody named Robert. Nobody. Our next match saw Switchblade taking on Texas Hate You. And folks, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, as Texas Hate You blew away the Switchblade and put him in his place. Yeah, it's funny. They do make everything bigger in Texas, don't they? Even the hate's big. Now in our next scheduled match, it was supposed to be Bobby Blaze taking on the Emperor 2K Anomalium. And I don't know if the Emperor was protesting, if he thought the match was going to be rated later. He's got this big conspiracy theory about his matches. But he didn't show up. And once again, we had another awarded win. This time to Bobby Blaze. Bobby celebrated by going out and high-fiving the other Bobbies. Self-high-five. Now our next match saw the Mark 69 taking on the Super Champion of Tyville. And the Super Champion showed why he is called the Super Champion, as he was able to defeat Mark 69. Oof. Man, that was one hell of an act there. In our next match, we had our world champ, the Darkstalker, taking on Casper 2779. And folks, Casper was not trying to lose this match. He hung with the world champ. Move for move, folks. They fought so hard that the match went to a time limit draw. You know, our world champ, he is not really high up there on the rankings. he's a competitor you got to watch out for. But in that WPA ranking, he is ranked really low. Hell, he's ranked lower than that loser Johnny Rocco. Maybe this will help him a little bit. I don't know. Speaking of Johnny Rocco, he was taking on the First Lady Alexa Leslie, and she was able to pick up the win over Johnny Rocco, which was, considering where he's ranked at, you could go by rankings, you can go by accomplishments. She beat a very accomplished competitor there. Now, the next match, and folks, this was more shocking than Spinelli calling her teacher mama. Casales was able to defeat the essential Jay LeMasters. Now, folks, I say he's hard to beat, but I'm starting to doubt it myself now. He keeps talking about jobbers, but he's losing to these jobbers. He's trying to say he's a high profile guy, but he's not. He hasn't been showing it lately. New Year's has started, and he's lost the trios championship. Now he comes out with another loss. Well, let's see what happens. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to keep saying he's hard to beat one-on-one when he gets beat. Now, in our next match, we had the Red Death taking on the Messiah. And unfortunately, the Messiah could not turn water to wine. He could not rise after 3 counts, as Red Death was able to hold him down for the full 3 and nailed him to the mat. He must be a false prophet. Now, the Beast was taking on the returning Master Sean Puff, fresh out of Fulton, Birmingham County Jail for inciting a riot. He's got some good lawyers, though. He got him out in time for his match. And he was able to pick up the win over the Beast to help propel him up the rankings and get a little bit closer to getting that world title shot. Now, in our next match, we had Money MF and Mike of the Killer Goons taking on the Queen, Starling J, our Intercontinental Champion. Now, you recall, Starling J did lose to a Killer Goon a couple weeks ago. She was destined and determined not to lose to another Killer Goon this week. And she proved it by defeating Money MF and Mike. Now that was a high profile win, folks, because he is kind of high. I think he's in the top 10. She be the another top 10 performer. She's definitely going to be moving up. What? Caramel macchiato with a little bit of mocha. Yeah. No whip. Speaking of whips, Jermaine Walker was in action taking on Brass Hole Part 2, folks. And just like Part 1, the Brass Hole suffered defeat at the hands of Jermaine Walker. Now, I don't know if he's going on another Beat the Goons tour or not, but that is not going to sit well for the rankings for Brass Hole. You know, they had a shot to beat. You know, can you still believe he beat them in a month? That's crazy. Who does that? Now, speaking of Killer Goons, Big Mel was in action. One half of the tag team champs. And he was taking on the one, the only mouth of WPA, the Big J Browski. And he lost. In the match of the Bigs, Big Mel lost. to Big J Bowski. Hey, you saw that video. He was lifting some weights. He was getting ready. He wasn't sitting on his ass. J Bowski was ready for anything Big Mel had. Now here's an interesting match. We had Delirious, the Prince of Crime, taking on the Crazy Canuck. Now what's interesting about this is this actually ties into our game changer status. As Delirious earlier was able to defeat the Beast and become the new game changer champion. He then took on Needles Kane and retained. Now, after that match, Crazy Canuck attacked Delirious with a chair and a kendo stick, which prompted Delirious to want to fight him for the game changer title. Now, he wasn't going to fight him while they had their match going on. He must have forgot they had a match scheduled, as a matter of fact. But not only did he beat him there, but he told him, I'm going to give you time to be at 100%, and then we'll face each other for the game changer title. So that match, God, I hear rumors. They're talking death match. Ooh. I don't know how that's going to fare. I heard Crazy Canuck he earned that name. Could you imagine that? An actual death match for the game changer title? That would be crazy. Now, in our next match, we had Lucha Libre, who has been crying about his missed opportunity to get an IC title match. He was first in Johnathan, who earned a shot at the IC match and then lost. And he wanted to prove that he could beat Johnathan and show the queen like it really mattered. Well, he failed, folks. I don't know if the pressure got to him or if just Johnathan was just better than him. But Johnathan came out with the win and then flipped off the Lucha and told him to go to the back of the line like the rest of everybody else. Man, talked all that crap about you wanted to show you deserved a shot and you failed. Such a failure. Now, in our continuing soap opera of Shona Campbell versus her former faction, she took on Horror Show Homevik, who got a very pleasant welcoming from Johnny Rocco last week. And they fought to the point where they were outside the ring beating the living daylights out of each other. And both could not make it back to the ring before the ref's 10 count and were both counted out, folks. Which makes me wonder, she has to be 3 out of the
Johnathan's trying to do math again. Knowing damn well he failed math in high school and college. No matter how many fingers he uses, he'll never be able to figure out just how many more matches poor Shona needs to win. You might as well just give up. God, just stub him.
No concern of mine. They'll figure it out themselves. Now, in the WPA Triple Threat Championship match, we had Lycon Umbras, the champion, taking on Shepherd Bane, and the man nobody wants to lose to, cha-ching, you owe me 10%, Quanny Fist. And folks, the narrator of his own story, the storyteller of great novels, Lycon, was able to pin Quanny Fist and retain his title, adding another chapter to his great story being told. Damn. Keeps it up, he'll get himself an IC title match. Maybe that's what Lucha Libre should do. Lucha Libre should try to get himself into a triple threat championship match. Successfully defend that sumbitch 4 times. Bam! IC title match right there. We'll see. Now, in a strange bit of luck, because nothing ever good comes out of Ohio except for Alexa Bliss, Captain Chaos was taking on Lady Assassin, and for the TV title, and she wasn't there. We looked high, we looked low, we couldn't find her. So, Captain Chaos was awarded the win. And he's now a new TV champ.
Say what?
It's like somebody just handed him the title. It's kind of suspect, if you think about it. That, if anything sounded rigged, that sounds rigged. Like, she's been successfully defending that title for weeks, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. I guarantee you she would have beat him. I have no doubt about it. She's been on a hot streak lately. Why wouldn't she have won? But there you go, folks. New TV champ, Captain Chaos. And that was it, folks. That's all we got. We got a nice weekend coming up with a very special event coming up Sunday. If you haven't already joined in, check with the admin and see if there's still time to put a team in. Or just sit there on your hands and complain. It's up to you. Remember, if you got any questions that need to be answered, please contact the admin before you start questioning everybody else. Because the admin knows what's going on. That's all I got, folks. Stay tuned. Philip's coming up. I'm going back to bed because I don't feel good. Got a cold. That's what happens when you walk in and out of cold weather. Later. Oh, one more thing, folks. Can't end the show without saying this. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Don't drink and drive. And please, pick up the phone and call that friend that might need to hear your voice. You could be a calming presence in their life. Doses. Hello, WPA. This I, once again, Philip Alexander Carrington IV, here with another weekly pick of those who impressed me in WPA. And before I begin, a special shout out to the one and only Queen Starlin J, who successfully once again picked up a win. Brava, brava. This week's pick. Oh, I don't know what impresses me more. His prowess in the ring, or his visionary words as he spins a tale, chapter by chapter. Or his gutsiness at that. But Lycan Umbras is this week's pick. Having successfully defended his triple threat title since winning it twice now, meaning he has 2 more times, and he'll be looking at an IC title match. And if that is not challenging enough, he had the balls to challenge former WPA champion Jermaine Walker to a match, mano a mano. And then you may say, oh, that is nothing, that happens all the time. Oh, but the stakes got raised. As the only way that Jermaine Walker would take the match was if he beat Lycan. He had to vacate his title and start over from the bottom. And Lycan, not one to back down, accepted his stipulation. Meaning that if he loses, the title is vacated. His journey towards intercontinental gold ends at the hands of Jermaine Walker. But should he win, what a feather in his cap it would be. Oh, the possibilities. Jeffrey, get my bookie on the line. I may have to place a wager. This is too good to pass up. And cancel my appointments too, by the way. I need to concentrate on this one. As for his opponents in the ring, it's no surprise that he pinned the man who nobody wants to lose to, Quanty Fist. God, is an awful name. I shall require, along with Johnathan, a portion of proceeds should you trademark that, by the way. Then again, I'll just get it from Johnathan. He owes me money anyway. But yes, Mr. Umbros was able to dispatch his opponents this week and come out victorious. Now, betting odds would say that a man that could go 3 weeks straight winning 3 straight triple threat matches, 1 to get the title and 2 to retain, should have no problem facing Jermaine Walker. But Jermaine Walker was on my year-end top 10 list. Quite high, actually. Higher than I wanted to, but quite high. So to you, Mr. Umbros, hopefully your story on your journey does not end with a loss to Jermaine Walker. But nevertheless, you are this week's top performer. Congratulations. Godspeed to you. That is all I have. I wish you a good day. I said good day. Actually reschedule me for an appointment.